And I wanted a name that was representative of that. Munilong is an affirmation, but it's also the name of an ancient sage, but it's pronounced Muni. And the sage, and forgive me if I don't get this all the way right, but basically the sage is very powerful at manifestation and like controlling the environment around them. So, it's spiritual, it's deep, but at the same time, it's just fun and it's affirmation. So that's the name, Munilong, and it don't fold. It's Munilong. I'm a rapper, singer, songwriter. I get money every day, and I'm a bad bitch.
I can't let them do my Yeezy greasy. Treat them like a monster just for drinking Hennessy on TV. It can't be easy. Living in them flashing lights. Learn that rap alliteration off of your my type. In that pink polo, did you know that you would touch the sky? Had that ultra light beam way back in '05.
I have a lot of musical influences. It depends on what kind of music I'm making that day. I have like a crazy range where I can do rap, pop, indie, folk, country. I'm just a fan of music. As a rapper, I would say I'm definitely inspired by like Plies, Kodak Black, Trina, everybody from Florida that I grew up listening to that I wasn't supposed to be listening to. Just being a lyricist, a fan of Kanye West. He's my favorite artist, period. I don't look at him as a rapper though. I look at him as an artist. Definitely Janet, Mariah, Whitney, Aaliyah, swagged out, sexy. Then, lyrically as an artist, I just say what everybody's thinking that we don't really say out loud. I don't have no shame. So I feel like as an artist, my job is to go and then describe it for people who not be or who are too afraid to do it, or people who will come behind me in 100 years so they can know what it. I think as an artist, period, a true artist, because there's a difference. There's an artist, there's a recording artist, there's an entertainer. There's influencers now. There's levels to it. So if you're an artist, you create with whatever medium you have available. And, Kanye does shoes, he does clothes, he does interior design. He does a lot of things besides music. He's multifaceted. I honestly don't know that artists these days realize that they have the power to do that. I think they just think like, let me get these streams up, let me run, let me get this show money. And it's a lot more that you could be doing with your gift. I don't put any limits on myself, so I'm just gonna be creative regardless. But I will talk about how it feels. I'll talk about the pain. I'll talk about relationships. I'll talk about the struggle. I talk about, I had a time when I was doing drugs and like really wild. Because my mama ain't let me go outside. I did get outside. Crazy. So I talk about that now. And it's odd because I live my life. I don't really, before now, I was not interested in documenting it. I'm just living it. Now I understand you kind of gotta hit record and let people in, because that's the world we live in now. But I really didn't talk about like the things that I was going through musically in my career, psychologically, mentally, personal relationships. I didn't talk about it because I was just busy living it. So now I have so much stuff so you never know with me, like, just depends on the day.
You so essential, babe, I need you like some PPE. Ain't no capping, ain't no scamming, ain't no EDD. Credentials, build a bay essentials, just the bare necessities. If you wanna fuck with me, I need.
So the new music that I have out now, I dropped the EP in November called Black Like This. It was really just a celebration of just me being proud to be who I am. Had a couple features on there, YFN Lucci, Free Lucci, and Jacob Lattimore, who was on The Shy, which is one of my favorite shows. And it's doing really well. People love it. They're really just sort of like refamiliarizing themselves with me if they knew me back in the days when I used to be on YouTube. But a lot of people are just now discovering me. A lot of people knew of Priscilla Renee, but may not have known like what I wrote. They just know I do music, but now they're getting into it with Munilong. And I think there's people are still making the connection like, wait, that's because I look a lot different. I'm a lot skinnier. Like I got myself together now. And I just know how to like show up and present myself, which is, I didn't care back in the day. And that all plays a part in like what the music sounds like now, and me paying attention to like details like frequencies and mixing and things like that. I'm really into it. So I got a second EP that's getting ready to come out towards the end of the month. It's called Nobody Knows. It goes a little deeper into like my personality and parts of me that I've never talked about outside of like my close friend group. And then I have an album I'm working on right now. I'm going to the studio after this. I'm really in like a super creative mode, just writing freestyles. And I've always wanted to be a rapper, but I used to get laughed at like, you can't rap. So I never really explored it. But now, I have such a supportive team. They just like, hey, whatever you feel like doing, Charlotte, do it. We believe in you. So that really matters because I really feel like I'm really, people say you in your bag, like here's the bag, I'm in it. August 2019, I decided I'm done songwriting. I quit. Can't do it. It's stressing me out. This is something that I love doing. And when I'm getting these calls to go work on this stuff, I'm getting a knot in my throat. That means I don't supposed to be doing this. Because if it's not bringing you joy, if it's not making you light up, that's not. It's very simple how I make my choices these days. When I think about something, if I think about it and it makes me cringe, I'm not doing it. I don't care what you say. If I think about it and I'm like, that sounds fun, let's see what happens, then I go for it. So that's really what it was with the album. With the first project, I told the team what I wanted to do. I was like, we should get together. We decided the location would be Atlanta. We went to Atlanta for it was supposed to be 1 month. It turned out ended up being 3. I caught a vibe. I found my personal engineer. So he was, his name is Scotty. He be saucing me up, like making me sound really dope. And then I was working at a Tricky Stewart spot, Triangle Sound, and which used to be the old Red Zone. And we were just locked in, just going crazy. And March 15th, I was like, all right, I need to go. I need to go home, which home is my mother's house in Florida. And because we started to feel it. It was like, okay, it's about to get crazy. Like, maybe we should just pause for a second. March 15th, we left. March 16th, they shut everything down. So we took maybe like a 2-week pause. Then we started kind of like having conference calls like, man, we done invested, a little bit of change in this. We really started pivoting towards Supergiant Records, which is the label I started, co-founded with 3 other partners. We started shifting all of our focus there, and then the pandemic happened. So we was like, we could either fold or we could just push through, see what happens. And in my mind, I'm like, well, shit, if everybody's slowing down, that means the freeway finna be up. So that means by the time thing opens back up, I'll be already ready to go. And I could just go boop, push the button and drop it. And so, Dre, who's, one of my close partners, close friends, he was like, are you sure this is what you want to do? I was like, yeah. He was like, all right, let's do it. And yeah, so that's what happened.
Waiting with my panties off. I don't really do this often. Tonight I wanna get lost.
Priscilla Renee was goody two shoes. She was like people pleaser. Like if you gotta kind of just to put it in context, my mama was a beast, is a beast. She don't play. So like I was so afraid of like bucking against authority or like even just being my real self because of how I grew up. So for me, changing my name to Munilong and stepping into that character, that was like freedom. I could really finally be myself. I couldn't do that with Priscilla Renee because it's like, you know, literally people would be like, you changed. You used to be so sweet. And I'm like, you don't, that wasn't me. You thought you was meeting me, you wasn't. I was just being professional, you know? So now I'm just being myself and I just really don't care. I'm on all social media as Munilong, so that's Instagram, Facebook, Triller, TikTok, Munilong. That's at Munilong. Please hit me up. I respond to all comments. It's really me, as much as I can. I'm liking everything. I'm reading. I go to people's pages. You know, as I said, I consume a lot of information. So feel free to hit me up. I like meeting new people. I met my creative director on Instagram. I met a producer that actually produced Black Like This, the title track. I met him on Instagram. You know, you can't pass up an opportunity to meet me. Hi, y'all. My name is Munilong, and you've just been buzzed.